If you've been shopping at Dollar Tree for years, you probably walk in with a simple assumption. Everything costs the same, so it's all basically a good deal. And for the most part, it is. But there are some things about how Dollar Tree operates that most shoppers never notice. See, Dollar Tree isn't just a discount store. It's a tightly controlled system built around one idea, keeping prices low enough that you don't stop to compare, while quietly shifting where the profit actually comes from. The product sizes aren't random. The timing matters more than you'd think, and certain categories are pushed harder than others for very specific reasons. Once you start noticing these patterns, you don't shop the same way anymore. You just get smarter about what to buy and when. Let's start with one of the most common ones, the online warehouse most people don't know about. If you only shop inside Dollar Tree, you're probably seeing about half of what's actually available. The rest? It's sitting in warehouses most shoppers never even think to check. A friend of mine used to work at Dollar Tree, and she told me something I never would have figured out on my own. Every time they reset the shelves, usually after holidays or seasonal changes, all those leftover items don't just disappear. The Halloween decorations, the party supplies, the craft bins that didn't sell, she'd box them up and send them to warehouses. She didn't think much of it until a coworker mentioned checking the Dollar Tree website one day and finding the exact same item she'd just packed up, listed online in their clearance section. That's when it clicked for her. And honestly, for me too, when she told me about it. Dollar Tree actually runs an online clearance section. Same company, same pricing, but completely different inventory. Once I knew to look for it, I started checking myself. You'll find things like sturdy drinking glasses, holiday lights months after the season ends, bulk craft supplies, stuff that just sits there because most people have no idea it exists. The prices aren't always marked down with big red stickers, but the discount is built in. A lot of these items are selling for 50, 60, sometimes 70% less than what you'd pay for the same thing elsewhere. Now, Dollar Tree doesn't exactly advertise this, and that makes sense. They benefit when you buy what's right in front of you in the aisle. Browsing online takes time. You compare, you think, and people who shop slowly tend to buy fewer items, which isn't great for a store built on impulse buys. But if you're someone who plans parties, decorates for holidays, or buys craft supplies in bulk, this online section becomes incredibly useful. You can find items your local store never even carried, entire matched sets instead of random leftovers, clean inventory that hasn't been picked through. And once you're on that website, you'll notice something else, something that solves a problem I used to run into every single time I needed more than a handful of anything. The bulk order shortcut. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into Dollar Tree needing a lot of something, plates for a family gathering, cups for a church event, storage containers for organizing, and the shelf is practically bare. There are maybe 12 left. I needed 50. For years, I'd just assumed that was it. The store's out, so I'd either drive to another location or settle for whatever else I could find. Then a neighbor who helps organize community events told me something I wish I'd known much earlier. Dollar Tree actually operates as a bulk supplier. You just have to know where to look. On their website, there's a whole section for full case orders. You can order entire boxes of the same item, dozens of plates, cups, whatever you need, at the same per unit price, and have them delivered to your local store for pickup. No shipping fees, no warehouse membership, just the cost of the case itself. She'd been using it for years to stock up for school fundraisers and birthday parties. No more driving store to store hoping to find enough of something. She'd just order exactly what she needed in one go. I tried it myself before a holiday dinner, and it completely changed how I shop there. Instead of hoping the shelf is stocked, I just order ahead with certainty. Now, here's the interesting part. Most people never hear about this option because Dollar Tree's entire in-store layout is designed around quick, unplanned purchases. The cramped aisles, the checkout line displays, the seasonal items right up front, it all encourages you to grab a little extra while you're there. Bulk ordering is the opposite of that. You decide what you need, you order it, you pick it up. There's no browsing, no discovering new items, no filling your cart with things you didn't plan on buying. But for anyone planning events, hosting gatherings, or just buying household items in larger quantities, this is incredibly practical. You get the same low price, but without the guesswork or the frustration of showing up and finding empty shelves. Once you start using it, it's hard to go back to the old way. But there's a catch I ran into pretty quickly. What happens when you don't need a whole case of something? Just one or two items to replace what broke. The single item workaround. But bulk buying doesn't always great. Ordering by the case works great if you're hosting a big gathering or setting up for a classroom. But a lot of the time, you don't need 12 of anything. You just need one thing: a replacement glass to match the set you already have, a single plate because one broke, maybe 2 decorations to finish something you've been working on. That's where a lot of people get stuck. They go on Dollar Tree's website, find exactly what they're looking for, and then see case only next to it. At that point, most folks either give up or end up buying way more than they wanted just to get the one thing they actually need. I ran into this myself once. I had a set of small storage bins from Dollar Tree and one of the lids cracked. I went online to replace it, saw I'd have to order a whole case of 12, and just closed the tab. Seemed ridiculous. But then I was talking to someone who does a lot of craft projects, and she mentioned she orders individual items from Dollar Tree all the time. I thought she was confused. I'd just seen the bulk requirements myself. Turns out, there's a separate section on their website where you can buy smaller quantities. 1 unit, 2, sometimes 3. Not everything, but a lot of items that normally say case only are also available this way if you know where to look. It isn't obvious. There's no big banner pointing you there. You kind of have to dig around a little, but it's there because Dollar Tree knows not everyone wants to buy in bulk. They just don't make it easy to find. People who decorate regularly use this all the time. So do crafters. Anyone who's just trying to replace one broken thing or finish off a project without ending up with a garage full of extras. The reason it's tucked away makes sense when you think about it. Selling full cases is faster and more profitable for them. One transaction, one shipment, done. Smaller orders take more work on their end, but if you're willing to poke around a bit, you can skip the pressure to overbuy completely. You get what you need, nothing extra, and you're done. Once you figure this out, it changes how you look at their website. You stop assuming every case-only notice is the final word and start checking if there's another way. Because more often than not, there is. Now there's one time of year when Dollar Tree feels like the obvious choice, and that's exactly when you need to slow down and think twice. The school supply trap. Every summer, right before school starts, Dollar Tree fills entire aisles with supplies. Notebooks, pens, folders, glue sticks, highlighters, all neatly stacked, all $1.25. For parents, it feels like relief. You can knock out a long school list without stressing over the total. I used to do the same thing when helping family members shop for their kids. Walk in with the list, grab what's needed, do the quick math, 10 or 12 items for under $15, and feel like I'd handled it smartly. No coupons to clip, no hunting through sales, just grab and go. Then a friend who's a retired teacher mentioned something I hadn't really thought about. She said she always waits for the big sales at Walmart or Target before buying supplies, not just for herself, but when helping out her daughter's family too. She told me she'd picked up notebooks for $1 each, folders for 10 cents, a whole pack of pencils for 75 cents. I was skeptical at first, so I started paying attention, and she was absolutely right. During back-to-school season, usually July and August, those bigger stores use school supplies as what's called a loss leader. They sell them at almost no profit, sometimes even at a loss, just to get you through the door. A 70-page notebook that's $1.25 at Dollar Tree, you'll find it for 50 cents at Walmart during their sales, sometimes even less. Folders drop to a dime or 15 cents. Pencil packs go under $1. Meanwhile, Dollar Tree is locked into that $1.25 price. They can't drop it. It's the foundation of their entire business model. So while the rest of the retail world is slashing prices to compete, Dollar Tree stays frozen at $1.25 and quietly becomes the more expensive option. Most people don't catch this because the shelf still looks cheap. You're not comparing prices in the moment. You're just relieved you're not spending $30 or $40. But here's the math. If you buy 15 school items at Dollar Tree, you're spending close to $19. Buy those same items during the right sales window at a big box store, and you might spend $8 or $9. That $10 difference, it goes straight into Dollar Tree's pocket. They're counting on convenience, not value. The school supply aisle works because it trades speed for savings. It feels helpful and predictable, but it's rarely the best deal if you're willing to wait a few weeks and watch the sales. So if you can, start checking the big box stores in mid-July. Compare a few prices. You don't have to do the whole list at once. Just grab what's on deep discount and fill in the rest later. It takes a little more planning, but the savings add up fast. And if you do end up at Dollar Tree because you're in a pinch, at least you'll know exactly what you're paying for. The tiny bottle trick. Walk down the cleaning aisle at Dollar Tree and you'll see it immediately. Dish soap, all-purpose cleaner, shampoo, everything looks familiar, just smaller. The price feels friendly. The bottles look manageable. You grab one, toss it in your cart, and move on. This is where Dollar Tree quietly makes a lot of its money, and it's built on something most shoppers don't think to calculate: unit cost. I used to shop there pretty regularly, and over time I got to know one of the employees who worked the floor. We'd chat while he was restocking shelves. One day he mentioned something that stuck with me. He said most people never look at the size of what they're buying. They just see the $1.25 sticker and assume it's a good deal. He'd watch people pick up tiny bottles of cleaner without ever checking the ounces, so I started paying closer attention. And he was absolutely right. At Dollar Tree, you might pick up a bottle of dish soap for $1.25. Seems like a deal, but that bottle is only 10 ounces. At the grocery store, you can get a 30-ounce bottle for $3. When you do the math, the Dollar Tree bottle is actually costing you more per ounce, sometimes double. The upfront cost is lower, so it feels like a win, but you're using it up faster and replacing it more often. Over time, you're spending more. Dollar Tree depends on shoppers not doing that calculation in the moment. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Every so often, you'll walk into Dollar Tree and find full-size bottles of name brand cleaning products or shampoos sitting right next to the smaller versions. Same $1.25 price. These usually show up when a brand overproduces, changes their packaging, or needs to clear out inventory fast. They send the excess to Dollar Tree to move it quickly. That same employee told me these are sometimes labeled as bonus buys or limited deals. They don't last long. Once they're gone, the shelf goes back to the smaller bottles. And here's what that tells you. If Dollar Tree can sell a full-size product for $1.25 when the conditions are right, then the smaller versions aren't priced that way out of necessity. They're priced that way because most shoppers accept them without question. The full-size items are the exception. The small bottles are the profit engine. So if you shop for these kinds of products at Dollar Tree, take a moment to check the size. Compare it to what you'd pay elsewhere per ounce. And if you do spot one of those bonus buys, a full-size bottle at $1.25, grab it. Those are the real deals. The rest of the time, you're likely paying more than you think. The toy safety problem nobody talks about. Most people already accept one thing about cheap toys: they're not going to last. A little plastic car might fall apart after a few days. A toy's arm might pop off. That feels like a fair trade for $1.25. You're not expecting it to hold up like something from a real toy store. But durability and safety are two very different things, and that's where the conversation gets more serious. I have a friend who's a pediatric nurse, and a few years ago she mentioned something that made me rethink how I looked at Dollar Tree's toy section. She said parents would sometimes bring kids in after they'd been playing with cheap jewelry or toys, and testing would show concerning levels of lead or other metals. Not every time, but often enough that she started warning parents to be careful about where they bought certain items. When toys are sold at major retailers, especially national brands, they're required to meet strict testing standards. Paint composition, plastic quality, how easily small parts break off, what happens if something ends up in a child's mouth. All of that testing costs money. It's part of why brand name toys cost more. At Dollar Tree, many toys and costume-style jewelry are produced at much lower cost, and in some cases, they aren't held to the same level of scrutiny. Independent testing over the years has raised concerns about certain items containing materials parents wouldn't expect. Things like elevated lead levels in paint or metals used in inexpensive jewelry. The biggest risk tends to be small, colorful items meant to look fun. Rings, necklaces, bracelets, things kids might chew on or wear for long periods. Even some painted toys that look harmless. For an adult buying a decorative item for a party or craft project, that's not really a concern. For a child who's going to put it in their mouth or wear it all day, it's a different story. The low price creates a sense of safety. You don't expect danger from something that looks so harmless and costs so little. But that's exactly why longtime shoppers are cautious here. My friend's advice stuck with me. If it touches food, skin, or a child's mouth regularly, don't let the price be the only factor. Check if there's a brand name you recognize. Look for labeling that mentions safety testing. And if you're not sure, it's worth spending a little more somewhere else. The coupon secret that actually works. There's a belief that's almost universal among Dollar Tree shoppers. The prices are already low, so coupons probably don't apply here. That assumption keeps a lot of money on the table. I thought the same thing for years. Why would you need coupons at a dollar store? It felt unnecessary. But then someone I know who's really good at stretching her budget told me she'd been using manufacturer coupons at Dollar Tree for ages, and sometimes walked out paying almost nothing. I didn't believe her at first, so she showed me. Dollar Tree does accept coupons, not their own store coupons or loyalty offers offers, but manufacturer coupons, the same ones you find in Sunday newspaper inserts or print from brand websites. Toothpaste, cereal, cleaning products, things people buy every week. Here's where it gets interesting. When a cashier scans a manufacturer coupon, it comes off the price just like it would at any other store. There's no special adjustment because the item is already cheap. So if you have a coupon for $1 off a specific brand of toothpaste, and that toothpaste costs $1.25 at Dollar Tree, your total drops to 25 cents. Simple as that. But what really surprised me is what happens when the coupon is worth more than the item itself. Dollar Tree's policy in many locations allows the coupon to be accepted anyway. The remaining value either gets applied to the rest of your purchase, or in some cases, handed back as change. That means the product costs nothing, and you still get credit for the extra value. My friend showed me her receipt once. She'd bought 4 tubes of toothpaste at $1.25 each, used 4 manufacturer coupons worth $1.50 each, and walked out paying almost nothing for all of it. The rest of the coupon value covered other items in her cart. This isn't something Dollar Tree advertises. You won't see signs about it or bold print on the receipts. But employees know the rule, and experienced shoppers quietly use it all the time. The shelves are full of products from brands that regularly release coupons. Oral care, cleaning sprays, snack foods, laundry items. The store counts on most people paying the flat $1.25 and moving on without a second thought. The shoppers who pay attention don't do that. They match coupons to items that already sit at the lowest price point and turn small discounts into complete write-offs. Over time, those savings add up to bags of essentials that cost next to nothing. If you're someone who likes planning ahead or already clips coupons, this single rule changes how Dollar Tree works entirely. It stops being a place where you save a little and becomes a place where careful timing creates real value. The cashback double dip. Coupons happen at the register. This next one happens at home. Cashback apps have become pretty common now. A lot of people use them at the grocery store without thinking much about it. You scan your receipt, get a little money back, and that's that. What most people don't know is that those apps don't really care where you bought something. They just care about the product name, the barcode, and having a receipt to prove you bought it. So if an app is offering money back on a certain brand and Dollar Tree happens to sell that brand, the rebate still works. Doesn't matter that it came from a dollar store. I didn't know this until someone mentioned it to me. She'd been doing it for a while. Nothing complicated, just paying attention. She'd pick up something at Dollar Tree, maybe a brand name snack or a sponge or a box of brownie mix, $1.25. If she had a manufacturer coupon, she'd use it at checkout. That might bring it down to 75 cents, maybe even 25. Then when she got home, she'd pull up one of those cashback apps, Ibotta, Fetch, one of those, and scan the receipt. That same item she just bought would sometimes have a rebate attached. 50 cents, 75, sometimes a full dollar. A few days later, the money would show up in her account. So her actual cost, sometimes nothing, and every now and then, she'd actually come out a little ahead. Dollar Tree doesn't say anything about this. There's no sign in the store. As far as they're concerned, you paid and left like everyone else. But people who know how these apps work are just quietly layering the savings. They're not breaking any rules, just using what's already out there. The savings just happen in 2 steps instead of 1. Over time, it becomes second nature. Buy the item, use a coupon if you've got one, scan the receipt later, collect the rebate. Do it again next time. The folks who do this regularly don't make it complicated. They just check the apps before they go shopping, see what's being offered, and then look for those items at Dollar Tree. What you end up with is a steady trickle of free or nearly free things, stuff you'd buy anyway. Most people just don't realize it's sitting there. It's not exciting, it's not dramatic, it's just steady and quiet. But once you see how it works, it's hard not to notice how many people walk right past it every day. That said, there's something else affecting what deals you can actually find, and it has nothing to do with coupons or apps. It's about which Dollar Tree you're walking into in the first place. Why some Dollar Tree stores are way better than others. If you've ever talked to another Dollar Tree shopper, you've probably noticed something odd. Their local Dollar Tree store sounds way better than yours. They found frozen steaks, name brand makeup, really good snacks, price. Meanwhile, your local spot feels like it's stuck selling the same basic stuff every week. That's because Dollar Tree stores aren't all the same. Some locations are smaller, older setups, limited freezer space, mostly stocked with paper goods, basic toys, cleaning supplies, the essentials. Other stores are bigger, newer, and have full frozen sections. Those places get different shipments, different closeout deals. Sometimes they'll test out items that other stores never even see. What decides which store gets what? Traffic, space, and who's shopping there. Stores in busier areas or near suburbs often get more variety. Premium closeouts, frozen foods, beauty products that wouldn't move as well in quieter neighborhoods. The traditional smaller stores get safer, more predictable stock. The thing is, most people assume their local Dollar Tree is pretty much the same as every other one, so they stop checking other locations. They figure if their store doesn't have it, Dollar Tree just doesn't carry it. But that's not how it works. I started noticing this after someone mentioned finding really nice glass bowls at a Dollar Tree across town, stuff I'd never seen at mine. So I started stopping by other locations when I was out running errands anyway. Turns out each store really is different. One might have a huge frozen section, another might get better seasonal decor. It's not about loyalty to one spot, it's just about knowing that each location is kind of its own thing. The people who consistently find the best items at Dollar Tree aren't just lucky. They're just willing to check a couple different stores instead of sticking to the same one every time. Sometimes that 10-minute drive makes all the difference. Still, even when you find the right store, there's other thing that determines whether you're seeing the good stuff or just what's left over. The best day to shop isn't random. Everyone has had this experience. You walk into Dollar Tree and the shelves feel tired, empty hooks, disorganized sections, nothing new. You tell yourself you just missed the good stuff. That feeling isn't accidental. Dollar Tree doesn't restock continuously. Each location runs on a weekly delivery cycle. One main shipment, same day every week. When that truck arrives, everything changes. Seasonal items, fresh food, craft supplies, new closeouts, all of it hits the floor within hours. If you show up at the wrong time, you're shopping leftovers. If you show up at the right time, you're seeing the store at its peak. Most shoppers never learn the schedule because it's never advertised. Dollar Tree has no incentive to broadcast it. Staggered shopping spreads inventory out and prevents crowds. But experienced shoppers don't guess. They ask. A simple, polite question to an employee is all it takes. What day do you usually get your big delivery? Once you know that, timing becomes a tool. Shopping the morning after delivery gives you first access. Clean shelves, full selection, the best chance of finding new or limited items before anyone else. It's not about rushing, it's about alignment. Instead of showing up randomly and hoping for luck, you arrive when the odds are already in your favor. That's the difference between browsing and hunting. Now, after everything I've told you about watching prices and checking quality, you might think Dollar Tree never really wins on value. Turns out there's one aisle where they beat everyone, and it's not even close. The one thing always worth buying. After learning about size tricks, safety concerns, and timing strategies, it's easy to assume Dollar Tree never truly offers unbeatable value. But that's not quite right. There is one category where Dollar Tree quietly beats almost everyone. Greeting cards. At most stores, cards run anywhere from $4 to $7, sometimes more. You pay it because you need one right now and don't feel like driving around looking for a better price. Dollar Tree sells most cards for $1.25. Some packs even offer 2 for that price. And here's the thing, the quality difference is basically nothing. Same weight paper, same printing, same message inside. It does exactly what a card is supposed to do. That's because a lot of these cards actually come from the same manufacturers as the expensive ones. The savings come from simpler packaging and less branding. The sticker aisle is the same story. If you're a parent, a teacher, or anyone who uses stickers for rewards or craft projects, the value is hard to beat. They work just fine and cost almost nothing. Dollar Tree doesn't try to hide this. They don't need to. These items bring people through the door, and once you're inside, a lot of folks end up wandering into other aisles and buying things that are more profitable for the store. The cards act as bait, but in this case, it's actually a fair deal. If there's one thing experienced shoppers will tell you to buy at Dollar Tree without hesitation, it's greeting cards and stickers. No tricks, no fine print, just straightforward value. Dollar Tree isn't a bad place to shop, but it's not automatically a good deal just because everything costs $1.25. Some things there are absolutely worth buying. Greeting cards, full-size cleaning products, seasonal decor at the right time. Other things just aren't worth it no matter how cheap they look. The difference comes down to paying attention, checking sizes, knowing when to wait for sales elsewhere, understanding how the system works instead of assuming it's working in your favor. The people who get the most value out of Dollar Tree aren't shopping there for everything. They know exactly what to buy, when to buy it, and what to skip. Do you have any Dollar Tree tips of your own? Maybe something you've noticed over the years that most people miss? Don't hesitate to share it in the comment. And if this video was helpful, subscribe for more practical shopping tips. Thanks for watching. See you next time.